the cupboard, you boys and girls. London calling.
Welcome along to London Calling, which is brought to you in association with Equate, and hopefully you can hear me this week. And we're live on YouTube for the very first time. Having had great success with Ustream, we've now moved over to YouTube, so thanks very much for joining us. I'm delighted to say this hour we're going to be joined live in the studio by QPR defender Danny Simpson. We've got a fantastic competition as well, details of that coming up. We're also going to look back on a fantastic victory in the Sky Bet Championship, beating Ipswich by 3-1 at Portman Road. As well as that, we've got your favourites. We've got QPR Stat of the Week to come. And, of course, we're going to be joined live by Jack Milner from Bet Victor, looking ahead to this weekend's game against Huddersfield. That's all here on London Calling, brought to you in association with Equate.
Equate is a natural energy drink containing only natural ingredients: fruit juices, ginseng, guarana, green tea, and just a nip of natural caffeine from the green coffee bean. And there's enough fruit juice in each can to give you one of your 5 a day. Need a natural lift? Try Equate.
OK, as you may notice, there is an empty seat next to Ian James Taylor. But Danny Simpson is on his way, stuck in traffic, which is the case when you're trying to get to anywhere near Westfield of an evening. So Danny will be joining us shortly, so keep your questions coming in for him. Firstly, we'll give you details of that competition, a fantastic competition it is as well. Full details of that. All you have to do is send in your questions for Danny. We're going to be going through them over the course of the next hour or so. And we want your questions for him, and try to use a bit of imagination. We want difficult questions for our Danny. Send in your questions now using hashtag LCI, and whoever asks the best question, as chosen by Danny at the end of the show, will win 2 tickets to Saturday's home game against Huddersfield Town, the chance to meet Danny after the game, and he'll present you with a pair of his boots personally signed just for you. So get your questions in now using hashtag LCI. For Danny Simpson, and we'll be going through those over the course of the next hour when Danny does indeed grace us with his presence. Well, a great competition, I'm sure you'll agree, Ian James Taylor, and as well as that...
What's with the middle name?
I'm just adding a bit of formality to the occasion, and also I'm trying to eat into time until Danny turns up, because I'm thinking 3 names instead of 2 helps me. Also, details of the debate for this week, a very interesting one considering the success of 4-5-1, of course, up at Ipswich, and that is, do we go 4-4-2 or 4-5-1 this weekend at home to Huddersfield Town? Topic of debate, 4-4-2 or 4-5-1 against Huddersfield. Tweet us using hashtag LCI. Well, firstly, Ian, I'll get your thoughts on that. You were at Portman Road on Saturday. We'll be going through that in a minute, but what was quite interesting, after the success of 4-4-2 in the second half against Doncaster, with Harry switching it, we were 1-0 down at half-time. Yep. He put Andy Johnson on at half-time, went 4-4-2. We scored 2 goals, won the game. Then at Portman Road, he went back to 4-5-1. I think it might have surprised a few, but then having said that, it was away from home.
Yeah.
4-5-1 or 4-4-2?
This weekend, 4-5-1 for me. Doncaster play... Doncaster? Huddersfield even play a 3-5-2. So I guess it's almost like for like in some respects that you know, their 2 fullback, sorry, 2 of their 3 centre halves will pull out and mark what would effectively be our 2 forward-thinking wingers. So yeah, I think I'd go 4-5-1, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It was a really good second half performance at Portman Road. So yeah, 4-5-1 for me.
And Harry always goes on about the midfield battle. He often says that's where a game is won. That's where you control a game. Yeah. So that's why he's always key to have a 5. And like you say, the fact that Huddersfield tend to play with 5 in the middle, you would think that would make Harry's mind up. Yeah,
I think he'll match them. Huddersfield have, they like to get the ball down. Similar to us, they like to pass the ball. They don't go too direct. Be interested to see what they do. Obviously, made a couple of signings since the window's been open. And also the Naki Wells, who scored in his debut in the last minute. So James Vaughan, I think, likely to be back as well. So they've got attacking options, just like we have with obviously Andy Johnson. Bobby Zamora came through 60 odd minutes, I think, for the EDS, scored as well in the week. So yeah, we've got options, but I think the likes of Tom Carroll, Carl Henry as well, controlled the game in that second half. With Nick O'Cranshaw as well being in superb form. So yeah, I don't foresee many changes to the side that did so well and were so effective in the second half.
And we'll talk to Danny later when he's here regarding the Huddersfield match on Saturday. But you look at them, they're 13th in the table, but they're only 5 points off the playoffs themselves, so they'll certainly have their own ambitions, and will feel they've got an opportunity if they can put a run together, and they've only lost 1 of their last 5 in all competitions.
You got the stats, haven't you?
I have got the stats.
No, they've done very well, and obviously it was a tough game at their place earlier in the season. We came away with a point on that occasion with Junior Hoylett scoring for us, James Vaughan, who was on a hot streak at the time, scoring for them. So it will be tough, but I think we'd fancy ourselves against anyone at Loftus Road. Back-to-back wins, there's a bit of a feel-good factor about the place buoyed by scoring 3 goals away from home at Portman Road. So, yeah, I fancy us to win. I think it'll be tight, as every game seems to be this season, perhaps with the exception of the game against Ipswich, especially in the second half, where we did really run away with things with 3 goals in 22, 23 minutes, something like that. So it will be a difficult game, but like I say, I back us to beat anybody at the Loft.
OK, and just details of that competition, if you're just joining us live on youtube.com/officialqpr. Send in your questions for Danny Simpson using hashtag LCI. Danny will be joining us very shortly. Whoever asks the best question, as chosen by Danny at the end of the show, will win 2 tickets to Saturday's home game against Huddersfield Town, the chance to meet Danny after the match, and he'll present you with a pair of his boots personally signed. So send your questions in using hashtag LCI, and Danny will pick the best one. We've had loads come in already, so keep them coming, and we'll work our way through them with Danny over the course of the next hour or so. Well, let's remind ourselves what happened against Ipswich at Portman Road. It was a fantastic result for us. Here's what happened.
Ipswich in the blue. Queen's Park Rangers will be in their change strip of red and black today. Barton. Warm reception for him. Ball played in. Benny Youn's header. Wide of the mark. Drawn a fair amount this season. Hopefully we will see some goalmouth action. Possibly here. Chambers. Good ball into Anderson. It's going to run for Chambers again. Great save, Green. Can it be bundled home by Hyam? It can't. Still a scramble. Maybe this time. No. QPR keep the door closed. McGoldrick keeps it going. How on earth did that stay out? Here's Hyam. QPR on the ropes here. Hyam into Chambers. Cranshaw to Austin for Cranshaw. Neatly worked. O'Neill cross goal, needed a touch. It's gone for a corner. Cranshaw. It's a good run from O'Neill again. Austin waiting. Austin, great save. Oh, what a stop from Dean Gerkham. That had goal written all over it. Launched forward by Hill. There's a slip, and Charlie Austin could be in. He normally scores from these kind of positions. What a tackle. Austin keeps it, turns. Here's Cranshaw. Goes well, Cranshaw. He's got some space. Cranshaw! 1-0 Queen's Park Rangers. Nico Cranshaw breaks the deadlock 6 minutes into the second half. It's his second goal for Queen's Park Rangers. Benayoun. Into Austin. Still with Austin. He'll try one. Spilled 2-0. Surely has settled it for Queen's Park Rangers. Gerkham was the hero of the first half, but he's been beaten twice. And for the first time this season, Queen's Park Rangers scored 2 goals in a game. Interesting to see what he does in the transfer market in the coming weeks. Now he's looking for a striker. Try and help out Charlie Austin, who at times has a thankless task, ploughing that lone furrow up front, but this is going to drop towards Armand Traore. He's in for 3 for Queen's Park Rangers. It is 3. It's all over. Armand Traore wraps it up for Queen's Park Rangers. 3 goals in a game for Harry Redknapp's team. Traore on from the bench. Secures 3 big points. It's a corner. Ipswich trying to go on the score sheet. What a goal! What a goal that is! Tommy Smith with the goal of the game.
An excellent result, I've got to say, an excellent goal there as well, right at the end by Tommy Smith, the defender. Ian, you were at Portman Road, and the fans were in full voice.
Yeah, they were brilliant. I think 1,534. And I made a point when we were on the way up, and I tweeted about it, that January is a difficult month for everybody. Financially, obviously everybody's trying to be good as well. Your waistline seems to have expanded slightly. I'm trying to stick off the booze for as long as I can. But yeah, January's a tough month. So to see 1,500, I must admit, it's one of the easier journeys of the season. Out of Liverpool Street, hour and 10 minutes and a 5-minute walk from the station. So it's great. But yeah, the fans were in full voice. We were a little bit disappointed because where we were sat right on the back row of the stand that was opposite the QPR fans, we couldn't actually see them in the upper tier, but you could certainly hear them. The new chant as well to the Colo and Yaya Toure with the old Charlie Austin, Nico Crancher. That was going on for what seemed like forever in the second half. So, no, it was really good. But they've been great all season. It doesn't really come as a surprise now. And
a great celebration from Armand Traore as well.
Yeah, I mean...
his first goal.
Yeah, it's very rare we get the opportunity to chat to him, and he's quite shy. But he's... I think it would be fair to say, and you'll probably agree with me, he's a bit of a reformed character this year. He really has stepped up to the mark when called upon. He's a great guy to be around now, and spoke to him afterwards, and he said, you know, that goal was for the QPR fans, and if ever an opportunity is there to celebrate in front of the Rangers fans as players, they should do so. And he went round the other side of the goal, didn't he, just so he could have a full run at the Rangers fans, and yeah, he celebrated in style. It was great to see. Yeah,
absolutely. And also Harry Redknapp has spoken about Armand Traore and the fact that he said he's come back into the group, if you like, and he is a different character now. And also, interestingly, he's trying to use him as a winger rather than a fullback. And people often say that his delivery, particularly on the move, which was best demonstrated at the Etihad in that game for Jamie Mackey's header, he's one of the best crossers of a ball. So it'd be interesting to see how he does in that role, particularly with Benoit playing at left back. He's unlikely to get much of an opportunity there.
Yeah, and he's got raw pace. And if you look at that QPR side during the second half, despite the fact that we scored 3 goals and 2 prior to him coming on there, it looked quite a one-pace side. But he does add that extra pace, and he flies down that wing, as you say. I mean, the Etihad is a great example. He left there, I think it was Zabaleta on the day. He left him for dead down that left. But you could see he sensed there was an opportunity, didn't he? And obviously, big mistake by their centre-half. I think it was Chambers who was just covering him from left or right back, if memory serves me correct. And he capitalised on it. And once he got through, good first touch and a really tidy finish. And if we can get him doing that, and even if he doesn't start games, coming on in games where their back four are potentially tied, especially here where we like to apply a lot of pressure and put their back four under pressure, he'll come into his own. I'm sure he will.
Yeah. The season so far, 21 games to go. We're third in the table, 1 point off automatic, which is always the key stat. It'd be interesting to get supporters' views using the hashtag LCI on what you make of the season so far. There were so many varied views at the start of the season. Some were suggesting QPR would run away with the league. Others were suggesting QPR would go straight through the league and come out the other side and end up in League One, because obviously there were huge changes that needed to take place in terms of the playing personnel over the summer, which was carried out by Harry Redknapp and his backroom staff to great effect, it has to be said. But has it, so far, would you say QPR have surpassed your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, I never really bought into the whole we'll be lucky if we survive. I guess we're quite fortunate that we're in a privileged position where we kind of know what's going on a daily basis, the ins and outs. So I never quite bought into that. But have we surpassed expectations? Yeah, I think we have. Harry did an incredible job in the summer, moulding the squad together. And not just moulding, and again, you're certainly around it, and I am as well. They're a group of men now that all genuinely seem to have a huge fondness and admiration for the football club. And that seems to shine through in every performance.
I think you're absolutely right. And you look at some of the key goals that have been scored, probably none more so, you've got to say, than, again, Danny Simpson will be joining us later in the hour and we'll speak to him about this. But
1.5 miles away.
1.5 miles away, we've been told, the beauty of social media.
Yeah.
But Charlie Austin's goal against Doncaster, obviously that's coming back on the back of 2 defeats to Leicester and to Nottingham Forest. We're 1-0 down at Doncaster, we pulled it back, and then his late goal. I mean, personally, we were talking about it earlier, that's probably my most enjoyable goal of the season.
Yeah, and I mean, I love the goal at Blackpool away, Charlie's header. That was a great goal from I think it was Simo's cross again, wasn't it, there? But that seemed to, I mean, hopefully I won't be made to eat my words, but that seemed to be a big goal in the context of our season. I know it was New Year's Day, wasn't it? So people will say, what are you chatting about? There's loads of football to be played. But when we spoke to Harry after, we spoke to Charlie after, we spoke to, I think, Gary O'Neill after, and they all said what a big goal they thought it was. Hopefully that will prove to be the case and we go on and certainly I don't care whether we finish first or second. As long as we get promoted, that's the be-all and end-all. And everybody said that from minute one.
OK, don't forget the topic of debate. It'd be great to get your views using hashtag LCI. We want to know, looking ahead to this weekend, simply 442 or 451. Tweet us using the hashtag LCI. Harry Redknapp went back to 451 to great effect last weekend against Ipswich Town. Does he stick with that, or does he revert to the 4-4-2 that was so successful in the second half here at Loftus Road against Doncaster? Well, we've also got to talk, it would be rude and remiss not to, Mark Bircham, who has left the club this week.
Yeah. Was it a shock? I guess I always thought that if there was an opportunity for Birch to further his career, and this is obviously what it is a step up the ladder for him. He is, you know, he's QPR through and through. He lives and bleeds it, doesn't he, in every way, shape and form. But opportunity for him to progress with his career with a manager and another coach in Des Bulpin, Ian Holloway, part of the setup there at the Den now. He knows the setup there very well. Yeah. And I think it just pulled at the heartstrings a little bit. Chance to go back to a club where he began as a trainee and then obviously went on to enjoy a number of appearances for the Lions. So good move for him, and we wish him well. And obviously he said a number of, you'll see at the bottom of the screen, there's a number of lovely messages from Mark just detailing the debt of gratitude he owes to the club.
He says there, I would like to thank all the QPR fans for their fantastic support over the years, and hope for your continued support at Millwall. And thanks as well, this is on Twitter, Mark Bircham, and thanks. I would also like to thank Harry, Philip Beard and Mr Tony Fernandez, because I know I'm leaving my club in the very best of hands with people that want the best for the club, both on and off the pitch. And I know the club has a bright future ahead, so thanks again. And also, you look at his avatar, it's a picture of him and Dennis Wise during their playing days when he was playing against Millwall. And I think also he said if he was going to leave QPR, it would only be to go into a senior management role at Millwall, or to join Ian Holloway as part of his backroom staff, and he's done both.
He's ticked both boxes, isn't he?
Exactly, you can understand completely. And I think when you look at the messages that Mark Bircham's received via Twitter and on the message boards from ours fans, I think they all recognise and understand it was a move that he really couldn't turn down. Yeah,
and I think one thing that the Birch does bring, he does bring that knowledge of the club and that passion. And I think Harry was sad to see him go. He formed quite a close bond with Harry. I know the two of them spoke every day at training. Birch was always there, offering a Harry history lessons, as it were, about the club. Not that you need to tell Harry Redknapp much because he's an encyclopedia of football knowledge. But yeah, he will be missed around the place. He's a bubbly character, and I know the young guns there, as part of that ADS squad, certainly enjoyed playing for him. But it gives somebody else the opportunity to step up. I think over the next 24, 48 hours, we'll be able to confirm who's going to take that role on a temporary basis. So, you know, the website will have that information, hopefully, as I say, ahead of their game, the EDS games at Ipswich on Monday. So, yeah, opportunity knocks for somebody else now. And it's a good role to get your teeth into, because not only are you nurturing young stars of the future, but you're also able to work with some of the senior guys that are maybe returning to fitness, like Bobby Zamora on Tuesday earlier this week.
Yeah, and when Mark Bircham left as a player, people said, well, that's not the last we've seen of Birch. He'll be back at Loftus Road.
I don't think it's the last.
He did come back for 4 years. He's gone again, and people are saying exactly the same thing.
Well, he'll be back, won't he, for the final home game of this season as well, when Millwall come to town. Let's hope he's able to have a wry smile as we celebrate, hopefully, something very special.
That could be very interesting, couldn't it? OK, and also we've got details. We spoke briefly about them on the last show, but certainly worth going over again. I think there's an update as well with regards to Alex Stockday.
Yeah, obviously it was reminiscent of the club that they perhaps overlooked the untimely death of Alex Stock a number of years ago, and we were keen. I know me and you spoke at length, and we've been speaking to various fan groups as well about the best way to pay tribute to arguably the greatest manager in our history, in Alex Stock, and we've arranged for an Alex Stock Day to take place against Yeovil Town, March 15th. Obviously, Yeovil Town, a club that Alex shared another affiliation with, like he did here. So we're going to have former players coming back, Alex's family as well. The Morgan twins have confirmed Rodney Marsh is doing everything to rejig his calendar. Obviously, he's based over in Miami. Is it Miami or Tampa? One of the two. He's based in the States anyway, so he's looking to rejig his diary. Frank Sibley's going to be here as well as one or two other characters from that era. So promises to be a really good day, and the family are right behind it. So we'll give him, the former players, Alex family, and the fans a chance to really pay tribute.
Yeah, and the supporters deserve a lot of credit as well for effectively speaking to the club and making the club aware. Obviously, this is something that's happened,
prior to us both being here, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously there's been quite a big turnaround in staff, but you're talking a 10, 15-year period since he passed away. And the supporters have almost made the club aware and said, look, this isn't right, and the club have reacted. The supporters certainly deserve a lot of respect for helping this on its path. Yeah,
I think there was an article in The Guardian, wasn't there, a few months ago that was brought to our attention. We obviously saw the article ourselves, but yeah, I mean, it's often overlooked at clubs, isn't it? And I think, we've spoken about this at length with the fan groups. This football club has often been guilty of perhaps not giving enough respect and praise to former players. That's certainly something myself and you are looking to improve. We've already done quite a bit over the last 12 to 18 months with reunions and what have you. Interviews as well with former players in the Insider, when we've got the 4 or 5 former players around the table to discuss their time at QPR. And it's something we'll look to continue to do. I think former players... they write the history of this club, don't they? And the fans, obviously, are part of that journey. And everybody deserves praise, because it can be easily done to overlook former players. But I think there's a commitment from the board. Tony Fernandez especially is really keen for us not to forget our past and forget our heritage and our former glories as well. And certainly Alex Stock is a huge part of this club. OK, Sheffield Wednesday as well. That game has been postponed. Is there any potential details with regards to a new date? How soon will we know? I think both clubs are in communication, as you'd expect. I think our Secretary Terry Sprinett picked up the phone to her opposite number at Sheffield Wednesday on Wednesday morning, straight after we knew that the game would be postponed, or rearranged, should we say, because of their progression in the FA Cup to the 4th round. I think they're on fire at the moment. It's probably quite a good time for a game to be postponed, because I think 4-1 and 6-0 in the last 2 games. So yeah, it's going to be rearranged. We're just waiting on confirmation of a date for that. And then as soon as we've got that, we'll push it out. But hopefully we'll hear in certainly the early part of next week where the land lies in respect to that. OK, and as you may have seen, the Insider magazine, the latest edition, 4th edition, is out. We've got to start working on edition 5 very soon. The 4th edition is out with plenty of exclusive interviews. Joey Barton's in there, Phil Parkes is in there meeting up with Rob Green. There's the Arsenal Lags feature we just alluded to. If you haven't had a look, it's completely free to download, well worth a look. 110 pages of completely exclusive QPR content regarding the current team and previous teams. Here's further preview to exactly what's inside.
A few managers I know used to come at half time. If you weren't doing well, he wouldn't dwell on it. He'd put it right. Absolutely. He wouldn't come in and say, you should have done that there, or you should. Yeah. He would come. The only time he ever did that, I think, was at West Ham once, when he just walked in the dressing room. We were losing. Walked in the dressing room, walked straight through to the toilet. Came back out, he went, you're crap. And just walked back out again. That was it. Absolutely, that's the only time I've ever seen him. So we must have been pretty poor that he couldn't even think to put it right.
We drew the game 2-2, but we could have easily have won at the end. But the goal was, it was probably one of the best goals I've scored in my career.
It wouldn't have spread around the country or anything. I mean, the perfect example is the World Cup. How you can't get on a bigger stage than that, and how you got over that. I've got the greatest admiration for you, because I don't know as I could have handled that.
I said, that was intense. That was a lot of people asking me a lot of questions. They said, well, there were about 4 billion people watching the game.
Terry Venables didn't mind Alan Mullery at all, but I don't think Mullery liked Venables at all.
No, there's a
and obviously everything that went on here, it was hard for us, having worked with Terry,
he tried to
step away from it, and he wanted almost, if Terry took us away on a Friday night, Alan Mullery didn't want to take us away on a Friday night. He almost did exactly the opposite of whatever Terry did.
Barton seems to have lashed out at Tevez.
I realised I was going to get sent off, so my perverted thought process was, if I can get one of their players to bite on it and react, then we're going to be 10 apiece, which gives QPR a better chance.
And Joey Barton stares controversy in the face again.
What would I say to myself as a fan? I don't know, I'd have been disappointed. I don't blame anyone for criticising me because I deserved it.
Listen to the cheer going round the ground here. This is a little bit cruel.
I remember I played against Liverpool and was terrible, and the crowd booed me off, which didn't help but was probably deserved.
Cheer is that Joey Barton's going off.
You stop becoming a self-obsessed egomaniac, which I could have been labelled as before. It became a breaking point when I thought, you know what, I'm trying to please everybody, I'm trying to be everyone's friend, I'm trying to help everyone in the team, and basically, I'm done with it.
OK, I'm delighted to say we've been joined by Ars defender Danny Simpson.
Finally.
Who's still getting used to London traffic.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a nightmare, but sorry for being late, but I got here in the end.
That's all right, you're here now, that's all that matters. Well, firstly, we're looking back on the Ipswich game we were speaking about earlier. Before we do that, just a reminder of the competition if you're just joining us. What we want to know is we want your best question for QPR fullback Danny Simpson. Send us your question using hashtag LCI. Whoever gives us the best question as chosen by Danny at the end of the show will win 2 tickets to Saturday's home game against Huddersfield, the chance to meet Danny after the game and a pair of Danny's boots, which will be personally signed just for you. So tweet us now using hashtag LCI. Well, Danny, looking back on the Ipswich result, it was important really after the disappointment at Everton to bounce back, even though certainly winning the FA Cup would have been nice. It wasn't our priority for the season, but to lose in the manner we did, I would imagine it had an impact on the group.
Yeah, no, it hurt. We wanted to go there. The manager wanted to put a strong team out. You know what the manager's like. He wanted a good cup run. I mean, if we did lose, we wanted to make it as hard as possible for them. But no, they're a great team. I don't think any of us performed to our best on the day, but you know, if things happen, we move on, and like I said, we bounced back with, I think, was a really good away win.
And I suppose sometimes you get a heavy defeat and some good can come from it because you all look at each other and say, hang on, what's going on here? We need to have a word with ourselves.
Yeah, you regroup, and you know, we've got some great characters in our squad who, you know, have been in similar situations, you know, where you've suffered a heavy defeat, you know, and the kind of characters that they are, they pull everyone together. You know, when you look at videos, you look at tapes, we have a chat, you know, everyone bounces off ideas together, and like I said, we went to Ipswich, which we knew was going to be tough because I think they was on a great run of form at that point. So we went there, and you know, the plan worked, and you know, we come away with like I said, a good win. Yeah,
like you said, they were unbeaten in 9 going to Ipswich, so they were certainly the form team. They just made it into the playoffs, so they were looking to kick on from there. And it was, I suppose, quite an edgy first half with opportunities at both ends. But then Nico Cranchard's goal early in the second half, it really helped to settle the team down, didn't it?
Yeah, obviously Nico, see that every day in training. You know, he's got that in his locker. We all know he's a top class player. But like I said, no, the first half was tough. I think both teams had decent chances. I think Charlie had a good was a cross. Charlie had a header. It was a great save from their keeper. And they had 1 or 2 little scuffles across our box. But as I said, second half, I think we're a strong team, and I think second half we do kick on, and we always seem stronger. So yeah, no, it was a good win.
What was said at half time? Because that's two games in a row now where things haven't necessarily been going that smoothly during the first half. What did Harry say to you to get you going both at Ipswich and in the home game on New Year's Day?
I think Ipswich, I think it was the counter-attacks that was where we was trying to score, and I think even from our corners, especially we were causing our own problems. So we wanted to make sure that didn't happen, because they're cheap goals to give away. So we make sure we're more solid at the back off us as being an attacking threat, and keep trying to play. He said, because eventually we will get a chance and we will score. I said, thankfully, Nico, a bit of magic. It was a great goal, and I think from that point on we looked very strong and we kicked on.
We were just chatting before you came on air about the win in the last minute against Doncaster, although it was New Year's Day and it's still fairly fresh in the season, it did seem like a big moment, didn't it, that?
Yeah, I said it
was a good cross, by the way.
Yeah, decent cross.
just talk us through it, Danny. We're seeing it here now. I mean, you're talking in the 92nd minute.
Don't know why I was running.
Because that's their free kick where that's come from.
Yeah, it was.
It's a great touch from Matt Phillips to start the run as well.
That was a great touch.
What are you doing up there?
I don't know what I'm doing up there last minute.
And you've got a lot of time to think about that cross. Is it going through your mind, this is probably our last chance here?
Yeah, well, I seen Greeny catch it, and for some reason I just thought, I'm getting on my bike here. And I said it was a great touch from Matt. He got through, and I think the position of the defender, I wanted to whip it, but I think in the position I thought I'll end up going for a corner, so I just thought I'm going to stand it up. When the main man who you want on it to fall to or go and attack it is Charlie. And
I was going to say, if you do stand up across like that when you're playing with someone like Charlie, you half expect him to at least get something on it, don't you?
Yeah, no, he's great in the air for us. I think he's shown it all season, and like I said in the last kick of the game, if you do stand one up at the back post, it is Charlie that you want to get on the end of it.
And speaking earlier, a lot of people have called that quite a key goal. Because obviously the recent run of form, that was obviously after Leicester and Nottingham Forest back-to-back defeats at home to Doncaster. With respect to Doncaster, it's a game QPR would identify as an opportunity for all three. So would you see it as more than just a win? It felt a little bit more than that, and the reaction of the fans would suggest they believed it.
Oh, it was quality. As I said, it was a relief. Obviously, we're a strong team. We've got great players. We're a great squad, and we knew, like you said, the Christmas period wasn't ideal. It wasn't great. We all knew it wasn't good enough. We all held our hands up, and like I said, you go Doncaster at home where you expect to win, especially because of the away result against them. You do start thinking, is it Doncaster's one of them teams? But no, the manager, gave us some good words at half time, and like I said, I think again second half we kicked on, we were strong, and like I said, when it went in, we knew that was our lift, and I think that was a kick-start for us this season, for the rest of the season.
A few of the lads were saying after the game at Ipswich that the majority of you watched that Leicester derby game on the Friday night, and they sent out a real signal with intent. Did that make you extra motivated on Saturday?
Yeah, because like I said, Ipswich were in the playoff position at the time, so we knew, especially with Derby losing, and basically Leicester making a big statement, because it was a great win and a great performance. So we knew, we need to get a good win at Ipswich. Like I said, they've been on a 9 games unbeaten, away from home. I think a few people might have looked at that as maybe a possible slip up from us, but we made sure we went there, we did our job, and for me personally, I think it was our best away win this season.
Do you see Leicester as the standout threats? I know there are a number of points there, so it seems the obvious answer.
I think the game when we played against them, I thought we was a lot better than them. I think it's probably I think that's the most chance we've had in a game all season, and I think we could have been maybe 1 or 2-0 up. I know people say that, but no, I think that was a game where I think we really did play well. And another day we could have come out of that on top by a good result, but football's football, and credit to them. It was a good result against us, and they've kicked on, and they looked really good last week.
Harry said at the weekend he's not surprised at all that Burnley are staying the course. A lot of people seem to be. A lot of people seem to think Burnley are going to slip up. They're not good enough, but they're there, aren't they? And they're scoring goals. Danny Ings and Sam Vokes are on fire, and there's just no let up.
No, I think some of us have said that as well, and I think Ings and Vokes have been on fire.
Yeah,
you got to give them credit. They've been on fire, and I think people say that though because they haven't got maybe the biggest squad, and I think generally the 11 that have played on a Saturday has been quite consistent. And people sort of say, they're going to get tired, they're going to let up, they might get injuries, but no, credit to them that they are still around. But we just need to concentrate on ourselves and try and get back into the top 2 spots.
OK, we've been joined live now by Jack Milner from Bet Victor. Good evening, Jack.
Good evening, chaps. How are we?
Yeah, very good, mate. Thanks for joining us. Well, looking on the odds at the moment, QPR, Leicester and Burnley all winning at the weekend. So have the odds stayed exactly the same? Because it seemed Leicester had gone as the favourites after our recent run of results.
Well, yeah, Leicester just carry on their merry way at the top. They've now won 5 on the spin. They were awesome against Derby on Friday night. I know they might have been a bit flattered because County folded, but we're taking the stance that if the title winners are going to come from the top three, we've hardened Leicester to 10 to 11 favourites. QPR squeezed ever so slightly, 7 to 4 from 15 to 8, and Derby, the big movers, out from 9 to 2, out to 10 to 1. Same with Burnley. But it looks like it's going to be a two-horse race. Touch wood, come the end of the season.
Okay, and putting your own views aside, going into this weekend, Huddersfield man, what are the odds on a Rangers victory at Loftus Road?
Well, yeah, Town are a bit hit and miss. There's no James form this week, which I know he's a bit erratic, but he can get goals. So, and QPR are the 7 to 10 favourites, but there's a bet victor. Huddersfield just a smidge over 4 to 1 at 19 to 4, and they draw 11 to 4. And I know we're putting in a couple of big performances this season, like beating Leeds away, holding yourself at home and Derby, but our defence will be good enough, I think, and I think QPR are a fantastic price at 7 to 10.
Let's hope so.
Thank you.
Okay, and,
Danny Simpson certainly agrees.
Yeah, we're joined by fullback Danny Simpson, who says he sometimes likes to get on his bike at the most unlikely of times. He's yet to score in the league for QPR. What are the odds on him to get on the score sheet?
Yeah, we won't rub it in, Danny. I do apologise. We've gone top price for you boys. He's 50 to 1 to get the first goal or the last goal against the Town on Saturday. He's 18 to 1 to score any time.
I've done my bike again then.
I've done a bit of delving. You've got two assists to start the season, and we'll go 10 to 1 for you to get one on Saturday. 10 to 1, Danny Simpson scoring an assist against the mighty Terriers.
Okay, and 51 to open the scoring. So if he gets a penalty, he's got to try and wrestle it off Charlie Austin. Best of luck with that.
Get the money on.
Yeah, across the back four, Jack. Looking at the back four that started last weekend's game, who's the favourite to score across the back four? I'd imagine it'd be one of the centre backs, is it?
Well, no, it's Asuakoto. He keeps delving from back with these pacey runs, and he's the favourite out of the four to get the first goal. He's 25 to 1. I said Danny Simpson will go on top price. Danny's 50 to 1. You're going to have to get the shooty boots on, son.
Okay.
I'll go for
all right, Jack, just finally, an accumulator for the weekend for us.
Well, yeah, we copped last week, didn't we? Brighton, Burnley and Blackburn. Nice at 8 to 1 treble. And we're going again. I think Burnley will be too good for Sheff Wednesday. I know, even though they spanked Leeds last week, they're even money. So maybe Leicester 11 to 10 away at Leeds, and yourself at home to Huddersfield. That little treble pays 8 to 1 with the bet victor. QPR, Leicester and Burnley.
The top three.
Excellent.
We've played it safe, thinking outside the box, not quite.
Lovely, Jack. Listen, it's an accumulator I hope doesn't come in, to be honest. Just the first
we
will
got spanked last week, lads. 25 million went out the industry. Top 7 in the Premiership when all came in. Yeah. We got spanked.
I'm sure you'll make it up over the course of the year. Listen, thanks very much for joining us, Jack. Appreciate your views, mate.
Cheers, guys. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks very much. The thoughts there of Jack Milner from Bet Victor. 50 to 1 for you to open the scoring.
So I'll be on
it's
my
not
bike.
Generous, is it?
I'll be on my bike, I'm telling you.
When you scored in your second appearance for QPR at Exeter, it was a cool finish into the bottom corner, and the way you celebrated, we've just got it here, and the way you celebrated, it was a celebration of a man who does that regularly. And then I realised it was your third goal in 215 games.
You're killing him.
He is killing me. I think Joey kills me now. Starts rubbing his eyes, doesn't he?
Yeah, he can't believe
it. That way it feels with him at Newcastle.
I mean, obviously, a fullback, isn't judged on goals. Is it something you'd like to add to your game? Is it something you've not really given any thought to?
Yeah, no, definitely. I like getting forward. Generally, get forward to put crosses in the box and set people up, or I get forward or to help the man on the ball. Well, no, I'd love to score some more goals, but like I said, I'm a defender and I do love keeping clean sheets, with the rest of my defenders or with the team. So, but at the same time, I do like to get forward, and I know I do want to set up some more goals for Charlie.
Tease us up nicely. A question here from Zach on Twitter says, "Have you got a goal-scoring dance if and when you score for us in the league?" Or is it just going to be a simple?
A few of the lads in the dressing room would like me to do a little dance Saturday, but I don't think I'll be doing it.
Danny, just another one whilst we're on Twitter. David Webber, who sells C Bill on Twitter, says, "What made you sign for us, and where do you think we're heading in terms of obviously the right direction?"
Just the club, the players that are at the team, the Premiership players, top class players. I spoke to a few of them before I came.
Yeah.
And obviously I spoke to the manager. As soon as I spoke to him on the phone, I knew it would have been a good decision and the right choice. And I came down, and I knew straight away it was going to be it was the right decision to make, and and help the club get back into the Premiership, which is where I think where I want to be and where I think the club should be.
Harry seems to have this knack, doesn't he? And we've said this over the last 12 to 18 months. He has a knack of persuading players. Nobody probably thought Loic Remy would come. And Charlie Austin even, he had offers from Hull in the Premier League, which obviously broke down on medical grounds, but he would have perhaps held out for a Premier League. But Harry does have this now. What does he say to
you? He's just, I said, it was his passion and his determination that he wanted to get out of the league, and he didn't see it as just, win a league, we're just going to win it like that. He wanted to bring in, other players, including obviously myself, that want to win, hard working, good players, determined players, and he wanted a good group of players that he could work with on a day-to-day basis, that so we can all achieve something great and get back into the league. And obviously I was one of the first few signings, and then obviously he was true to his word by bringing in the players he brought in.
Okay, and plenty of questions coming in now. Callum has tweeted us, your 3 hardest Toon teammates against your 3 hardest QPR teammates. Who would win in a fight? Clue, Danny Monster.
Newcastle, obviously Chetty. I put him in there, obviously.
Don't disallow any of his goals because he'll go blooming crazy.
I know, he will, he'll eat you. But no, I'd put Colaccini's in there. He's a tough character. He's Argentinian. He's got that toughness about him. Third, there's a lot of French flair players, isn't there? I'm going to struggle here.
Stephen Taylor, he's pretty hard, isn't he? No?
If it weren't for Andy, what happened with Andy? No, I'll put... I'd have to, no, do you know what, actually? He seems a tough character, is Debussy, actually. He seems like a tough character.
Yeah.
From our place. Yeah, I won't want to mess with Dunny. He's kicked me a few times in training as well, so I won't want to mess with Dunny. He's a big lad. Obviously, Joey. Third, probably won't want to mess with. I won't want to mess with Hilly.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I won't want to mess with Hilly, to be honest with you. But out of them, I'm not sure who would win out of that.
It'd be an absolute
good, it'd be a good rumble, wouldn't it? It'd be a good rumble.
Okay, Richard Cooper, what's your most memorable time in your career to date as a whole?
Obviously, I grew up as a Man United fan. So maybe my debut, and I came on, and I set up Wayne Rooney with a cross at the Stretford end.
As you do.
Yeah, like I said, it was a dream, you think of that as as a boy. I think a couple of injuries on the bench, and managed to get on against Wigan. We won 4-0, and that's like I said, Scholes, he passed it to me, I crossed it, and Rooney put it in. So that was a
that's
nice.
Not bad for a Man U fan.
Have you watched that film yet? Have you watched the Class of 92?
No, my mum's got it to me for my birthday, so I'm on birthday last week, so I'm going to watch it soon.
Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah, no, I can't wait.
I've got one on here. Do you go into any games thinking you will win, or do you take it as it comes?
I go into every game thinking that we can win, and I said football's football. Doesn't matter who's out there. I think that's why everyone loves football, because there is so many upsets and anything can happen on the day, and that's especially with the players we've got and the team we've got. I know I expect us, or I go out there thinking we should win every game.
Really good question on Twitter from Ollie Clayton. What is more challenging, the mental or the physical side of football?
Probably depends who you're playing for. Like I said, maybe after different times at Newcastle when we were flying, mentally you're fine, you're winning every game. We were trying to get in the Champions League, but then the year after I was playing in a team where we were losing. We were talking about the manager getting sacked. So physically, I think obviously week in, week out, we train a lot. We're fit. We're all fit as long as you've not been injured. But yeah, so I'd have to say mentally, obviously at the moment, everyone expects us to win, so we're going out there not expecting to win. Probably apart from the Everton game, but yeah, I'd have to say probably mentally is the toughest.
Good question, that one.
Okay, an interesting question from Seokin Kim, and also particularly around the training ground when people come to visit, and often there are sick children come to visit, and you always seem to go the extra yard to sit with them for a little while, not only just sign their shirt, but to have a chat with them. Question from Siakin Kim: who inspired you to be who you are today?
Obviously, growing up, obviously my family who supported me and wanted me to achieve great things and be the best that I can, because they all wanted to know I'll be a footballer. Being in football, being at a club like Man United, you know, the class of '92, the fact that it's just that group of players from a local area, and I was a local lad, they've come through and achieved what they achieved. You know, I don't think it'll ever happen again. And getting to know them and work with them, especially obviously at fullback, I was working with Gary Neville. Not just what he'd done on the pitch, but off the pitch as a man. He helped me. Everything he helped me with stuff off the pitch. Obviously that's why working with Sir Alex. You know, we massively. You know, I went through a certain stage in my teenage years where I was getting into certain wrong things, and you know, we pulled me in, and you know, we'd had a chat, and Gary Neville helped, Wes Brown, them kind of players. So now they all contributed and inspired me to be, you know, as good as I could be as a footballer and as a man.
Did Sir Alex, when he called you in, did he have a go at you or guide you? Or both?
He's done both. No guide, he was guide. You know, he's done it for so many years, and you know, there was no difference in what he's had before. And yeah, there's a bit of both. He seems to know the right time to give you advice or have a go at you.
And that's the thing from that class of '92. That's what I mentioned earlier. Giggs, Neville, the two Nevilles, Beckham, Scholes, they all said it. There were times where Fergie pulled them to one side, but it just made them step their game up by 10%. I remember they gave the example about Lee Sharp. He was going off the rails at the time, and Fergie kind of said, right, you've had your last chance, mate. And that was it. His career just went down from there. It's incredible that the role of managers such as Sir Alex, and I know Harry's probably doing the same with younger players at our place as well. It's incredible the role a manager can have in a player's career.
OK, question from James Finn. What was the better goal, Austin's v Charlton or Nico's v Millwall?
Difficult. He's trying to work out who's going to give him more banter in the dressing room in the moment.
Don't want Charlie on me. He scored that many. I'll give it to Nico.
How good is Nico Grandshaw? Because he's played at the top level, and he seems to be able to just turn it on and off as and when he pleases. And
do you come up against him directly in training?
Yeah, I do. I do a lot. Yeah, he's a top player.
Harry loves him, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, he's signed him a few times, but no, he is. He's a top player, and what I like is he's come in. It would have been easy for people to say, "Oh, he's just come here. He's not really going to be bothered. He's just going to." But no, he does. He trains hard. You know, he works hard, and you know, he's hungry. And when he wants to perform. He wants to score goals, and he wants to win. And you know, and I said he's a great player to have in our team.
Okay, question from Niall. Hi, Danny. What was the first trophy you ever won?
First trophy I can really remember was the Milk Cup. Man United youth team. Youth Cup was that, obviously, and then senior was obviously won a championship with Sunderland, and that was like my first season in English football as a first team player. So no, it was nice to win that. But as a youngster, you know, the memory of winning the Milk Cup, I think the class of '92 even won it. You know, when we went over there, and you know, all the history and the success of our United, and we went there and we won it as well. Okay,
question from T. How does this team compare with the Newcastle team that you got promoted with out of the Championship?
You know, it feels pretty similar. The fact that, you know, we've got a great backing, everyone expects us to get out the league, win the league, but we know it's not that easy.
Yeah.
And obviously, I was in the Newcastle team with Joey. You know, it was me and him on the right. Newcastle was full of Premiership players, experienced players, hungry players who wanted to get back in the Premiership, and obviously QPR's a lot similar. And I think at Newcastle, we was a solid team. I don't think we always played the best football, but we was always solid, and we knew how to win games. And I think, you know, we are a bit the same. You know, we have a solid team, a solid unit, and we've got players who can win us games.
And that Newcastle team, and you think you ended the season with 102 points, and you were more than 20 points clear of third by the end of it. But looking through, you actually had back-to-back defeats during that season as well, and your reaction was to win the next 7 on the trot. And it's interesting, the reaction to back-to-back defeats so far here is played 2 games and won both. So it is all about the reaction. Yeah, that's what I said. Like I said, in both teams, it's similar characters, similar players, hungry players that want to get back in the Premiership, experienced players who have been in football, you know, and played for many clubs, and you know, they know what to do, we know how to win. And like I said, it's similar, and I said the reaction's the same. And if we can do seven wins on the bounce, and you know, we're more than happy. And the spirit in that squad was good as well, wasn't it? Yeah, I think that, to be honest, I think that's what got us through, you know, mainly that year, and when we was promoted, was the spirit. You know, we were together, just like we are now in our dressing room. You know, we are together. You know, we do stuff off the pitch. You know, there's always a big group of us. You know, we're always having banter. So no, it is, I think, spirit. And that goes a long way, doesn't it? Yeah, no, for me it does. You can't just expect a group of players, you know, who don't really get on with each other, who don't really have banter on and off the pitch, to just go out and perform on a Saturday. Whatever the tactics are, whatever the manager said, whoever you're playing, I do still, you know, believe that you need to have a good spirit and the team needs to be together. A few more Twitter questions. Bradley Davis says, who has the shortest temper in the QPR squad? The laugh says you know the answer. Probably, in terms of training, probably me. Do you? Now moaning. I do moan a lot. If on a match day, I think whoever plays the right wing, for instance, if Matt Phillips goes there, I think he has to go on with earplugs, because you do let him know if you're not happy, don't you? Yeah, I do, to be honest. So, I do, I would say. Does that come from a desire to win? Yeah. And the training's the same as I play, and you know, if we're having a game on training on whatever day it is, and we're losing in a 7-a-side team game 3-0, I don't think that should happen, and you know, it does wind me up, yeah. Has that come with experience? Or, like, as an 18-year-old, would you get stuck into a 25-year-old if you felt he wasn't pulling his weight? Or is it because now you feel a more experienced player? I think it was coming up through like the ranks at United and trying to get into the first team, and you have to be a strong character to try and get into that group of players. And I didn't mind kicking 1 or 2 of them, and when I did once or twice, they kicked me back, but I got like the respect, you know, and I was a young lad, and they're like, who's this young lad kicking me? But, you know, it is sort of respect, and they do prefer that rather than going into the first team and sort of just be, you know, just passing by. And I'd rather see one of the young lads come into the QPR first team and getting stuck into us, you know, I'd love to see it. Charlotte Hamilton, this is a strange question. If you could play professional football against any of your family members, who would it be and why? Is there a member of your family you'd like to get one over? My little brother. He's 19. He's a little nightmare. So good player. No, he tried. He does play at the weekends, but you know, if he was playing on the wing, I'd definitely take him out. Luke Graham, and he's a Man City fan as well. So there you go. So there's a bit of rivalry in the family. Luke QPR Graham, who's the joker in the squad? We've seen a few videos online from Tom Carroll. So who's the joker in the squad? There's quite a few like that do get involved in the banter, and it is, I'd like to say, it's sort of the older lads. I think they've got like an older box, and I think if you don't, basically on a Friday, you've got this tradition where if whoever's the worst in a box on a Friday has to get everyone all the coffees and hot chocolates, and I think that all stems from Joey, really. You make sure that whoever goes to a vote, whoever loses, they make sure they have to, you know, buy all the lads a coffee or a hot chocolate. Right on the way to a game? Yeah. And so now, and like I said, there's always a bit of banter on the bus about who he's going to be in the voting and all that. But no, it brings it all in together, and you know, and he does get involved and give some banter. Speaking of Joey, Tony Bink says, who would win in a wind-up merchant competition between Joey Barton and Piers Morgan? I presume he means via Twitter. I wouldn't want to get involved in an argument with Joey, so... So we'll go for Joey. Just go for Joey, yeah. I'd argue with Piers all day, but... Ollie Clayton says, do the fans have an impact on your performance at QPR? No, definitely. I think for me, for the other lads, for the team, you know, if you know, you can hear them really cheering you on and wanting you to do well and succeed, and you know, and get another goal. I think it helps us, and I think when the away teams come to us, come to Loftus Road, I think it
it can intimidate them a little bit as well, and give us that edge.
Caitlin Chapman, if you could play alongside any back four in the world, who would they be and why? So I presume it'd be you at right back. So past or present, 2 centre halves and a left back. Who would they be?
Left back, Ashley Cole. I think he's been one of the best left backs.
And still the best, would you? Be
Yeah,
number
still
one
up
pick
there
for the World
for
Cup?
me. Yeah.
Yeah. Ahead of Leighton Baines, who looks.
Yeah, no, I think Ashley is experienced everything he has to start, and maybe after that, I'm sure then Leighton might get his chance. He's a few years younger, but for me, he's been the best left back for over 10 years, and to make 100 odd England caps is, for a left back has been top class.
2 centre halves.
And while you're thinking about that, just a reminder, we've got about 10 minutes or so to go here on London Calling. Danny very shortly will be picking his question of the show, and the winner will get 2 tickets to Saturday's game against Huddersfield, plus the opportunity to meet Danny after the match, and will be presented with a pair of Danny's boots, personally signed just for you. So if you haven't got a question, keep sending them in using hashtag LCI. About 10 minutes or so to go on tonight's show. So back to that, 2 centre-backs.
I would love to have played with Jaap Stam, to be honest. Yeah. I think he was top class, and he was just a horrible, mean centre back. And I think if he's on your side, you think you're all right.
You got a chance.
And then obviously the whole United connection. I like to have one who's strong, solid, and and ugly. And on the other side, I'd probably have liked to have played with obviously I'll play Rio, but if it was us four, the back four, me, Rio, Jaap Stam and Ashley Cole, I think
that would take some beating, wouldn't it?
I would have been happy with that, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad back four at all, is it?
Paul Power says if there was a race between the entire QPR first team squad, I guess he means a sprint race over something like 100 metres, who would win and where would you fare? Where would you go?
I think Matty would win.
Yeah, he's quick.
Yeah.
Over Nedham?
I think over 100, I think... Oh, no, actually, no.
Because Nedham was he schoolboy?
Yeah, no, Nedham, yeah, actually. That'd be close, that one. I think Matty over 50 metres, but over 100 metres, I'd go with Nedham, yeah, definitely.
The power and strength.
Yeah, I think he was England youth champion.
But we had Matty Phillips on the show 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we asked him that question. He backed himself, and he said he wants to set it up.
I'll have to do that, won't we?
I think we'll have to get your help in doing that, but I think we'll have to wait until nearer the end of the season. We don't want a hamstring to ping out on the Harlington training pitch while we're doing that.
It'd be a good race, though.
It would be a very good race, wouldn't it? Just while we'll go through the last couple of questions, Ian touched on it there, your relationship with the QPR supporters. You do seem to have a very good relationship with them. Is that something that you consciously look to do? As I say, you always seem to... I mean, it's a very good bunch of QPR players at the moment, but you always seem to noticeably go that extra yard when it comes to meeting the fans.
Yeah, I just appreciate, we do what we do because fans turn up on a Saturday and watch us play and pay to watch us play. And, and if it wasn't for them, then football wouldn't be, as big as it is. And whatever team I'm at, I appreciate. How they come out every week, to support us, whether it's against, whether we lose, whether we win, they're still there the week after, supporting us and cheering us. And for me, you have to appreciate that. And I always give 110%, and because they come support me and want me to do well, and come to watch us, and they expect us, to put on, at least if we win or lose, you at least want to see us give 110%. So I'd always try and do that for them, yeah.
QPR Stats, our resident stats man, has informed us on Twitter that you're the only outfield player to have played every minute of every league game this season, so that's testament to you. George Bradley says, who would be the worst member of the R squad to share a room with on away trips and why? We're trying to stitch you up here.
Yeah. Obviously, we have room on our own, but I'm trying to think of anyone that might sleep late or might break wind a lot.
Tweet a lot.
I'm trying to think who that would be. It's a tough one. If I had to, I'd get on with all the lads. I'd share in with any of them. So yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to sit on the fence.
Pete Richards says, "Who's the best player you've come in direct opposition against this season in the Championship so far?"
What the kid from Blackburn, the left winger? Marshall, was it?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought he was decent. I think he's a young kid as well.
Yeah. Surprised you, did he?
Yeah, it surprised me, yeah. I was expecting more from Dyer when they played against Dyer at Leicester, because he has been on fire this season, but he was on it. I think Marshall, for a young kid, I think he's only just broke into the team maybe, and the managers gave him some confidence and got in the team, but no, I think he was, obviously off recent memories, I think he was a decent little player.
Do you like that challenge going into a game? Obviously the quality of opposition varies to a degree. When you're coming up against Leicester and Dyer, who, as you say, has been on fire, he's very pacey. He's also bulked up over the last few years. Do you enjoy thinking, right, this is almost a personal battle now, and it's a key battle in terms of the game?
Yeah, like the manager mentioned Dyer before the Leicester game, showing some clips, and I couldn't wait. Obviously I've seen what he's been doing this season, and like I said, that's my job. I'm a defender. I want to make sure I come out on top against the left winger. So yeah, no, it's something I was looking forward to, that game, and especially against him. As I said, he'd been doing well for Leicester, but no, I think that was one. I think he was pretty quiet that day.
I've seen you put in a heavy challenge, or perhaps not a heavy challenge, and the opposition goes down, and you're quick to let him know if you feel he's gone down a little bit quickly. Do you get involved in the verbals?
I think you have to. I think
it's part of it, isn't
it? It is psychological warfare. And I like to let them know I'm going to be a bit of a rash on them, and I want them to know that they're in a game. Because one thing I learned actually from Gary Neville was, doesn't matter who you're playing against, don't worry about giving them a hard, strong tackle, because they won't think twice about putting it through your legs and scoring in the top corner. So, and he's right what he's saying, and I'll always remember that. He said that to me, whether it's a friend that I grew up with, or whether it's someone who's one of the best wingers in the league. He said always make sure they're in for a tough game.
Good question here from Michael O'D. Is there any comparisons between Harry's man management style and that of Sir Alex?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think especially in training, and they like to sit back and watch and observe and really watch every player. You might not think he's watching you, but he will be watching you, how you're performing, your attitude. Maybe he's not on the pitch, maybe off the pitch as well, he'll be always watching. And Sir Alex was always like that, he'd let the coaches do the coaching, and he'd always observe and watch and probably see who he thinks he's ready for the weekend. And I said he's helped me since I've been here, and Sir Alex always helped me as well, so I'd say so, yeah.
Just switching matters and the attention back to this weekend, Huddersfield Town come to Loftus Road, and as has been shown on a number of occasions this year, there's no easy games in this division. It certainly will be a tough one on Saturday.
Yeah, it is. I think they have got some good players. I think they just signed Wells. Yeah, he just scored the winner, didn't he? Yeah, he scored the winner.
Come off the bench to do it.
I think he's that kind of striker who seems to, he scores them goals. And I think Vaughan's injured. Thankfully for us, I think he's a good player.
It was tough there earlier in the season.
Yeah, it was. I still think towards the end of the game he could have nicked it. I think it might have been Junior had a chance last minute. I think
hit the bar as well. I think.
Yeah, we had a few, but yeah, no, we'd like to. Obviously we want to keep our run going, especially we're at home. I think we've got to go out there, especially after two good wins in the league. We've got to go and make it free, and I think we've got to put pressure on them straight away. And as soon as we get a goal early and then kick on, yeah.
Obviously, owing to the Sheffield Wednesday game now being postponed, owing to their FA Cup progress, it's 3 home games in a row now, starting at the weekend, and then we've got Bolton and then Burnley.
Yeah.
How key now is this run, these 3 home games?
As you said previously, January and February, you believe are the 2 key months.
Yeah, for me, I think once you get through Christmas, good or bad, I think January, February is the time, especially from what I've experienced in the past. It's where the teams that really want to go and win the league, really push on, kick on, and pick up the points, get the wins. Whether ugly wins, doesn't matter how you win, just put the points on the board. So you're ready for the final few games. And I think obviously it's exactly how we've started, this year with 2 wins. So like I said, now with it being 3 home games on the bounce, it's a massive opportunity for us to put a real run together.
Okay, and just a reminder, issue 4 of QPR's magazine, online magazine The Insider, completely free, 110 pages of exclusive QPR content is available to download in all different manners and shapes and form. If you haven't checked it out, well worth doing so. You can log on to qpr.co.uk for full details on how you can download it on a variety of devices. Here's a sneak peek of exactly what's inside.
A few managers I know used to come at half time. If you weren't doing well, he wouldn't dwell on it. He'd put it right. Absolutely. He wouldn't come in and say, you should have done that there, or you should, He would come. The only time he ever did that, I think, was at West Ham once, when he just walked in the dressing room. We were losing. Walked in the dressing room, walked straight through to the toilet. Came back out, he went, "You're crap," and just walked back out again. That was it. Absolutely, that's the only time I've ever seen him. So we must have been pretty poor that he couldn't even think to put it right.
We drew the game 2-2, but we could have easily have won at the end. But the goal was, it was probably one of the best goals I've scored in my career.
He wouldn't have spread around the country or anything. I mean, the perfect example is the World Cup. How you can't get on a bigger stage than that, and how you got over that. I've got the greatest admiration for you, because I don't know as I could have handled that.
I said, that was intense. That was a lot of people asking me a lot of questions. He said, well, there were about 4 billion people watching the game.
Terry Venables didn't mind Alan Mullery at all, but I don't think Mullery liked Venables at all.
No, there's a
and obviously everything that went on here, it was hard for us, having worked with Terry,
he tried to
step away from it, and he wanted almost, if Terry took us away on a Friday night, Alan Mullery didn't want to take us away on a Friday night. He almost did exactly the opposite of whatever Terry did.
Barton seems to have lashed out at Tevez.
I realised I was going to get sent off, so my perverted thought process was, if I can get one of their players to bite on it and react, then we're going to be 10 apiece, which gives QPR a better chance.
And Joey Barton stares controversy in the face again.
What would I say to myself as a fan? I don't know, I'd have been disappointed. I don't blame anyone for criticising me, because I deserved it.
Listen to the cheer going round the ground here. This is a little bit full.
I remember I played against Liverpool and was terrible, and the crowd booed me off, which didn't help but was probably deserved.
Cheer is that Joey Barton's going off.
You stop becoming a self-obsessed egomaniac, which I could have been labelled as before. It became a breaking point when I thought, you know what, I'm trying to please everybody, I'm trying to be everyone's friend, I'm trying to help everyone in the team, and basically, I'm done with it.
Okay, that's issue 4 of The Insider, out now. Log on to qpr.co.uk. It's completely free to download, so well worth doing so. Okay, only a couple of minutes left of the show. We'll give you the details of the winner in just a moment. Winners. We've got a tie break. But before that, the QPR stat of the week, a moment you all love to look forward to. Here it is.
Rangers have only conceded 4 home league goals this season. This is part of a remarkable run of 15 home league games without conceding a second half goal. The last time was Jonathan Walters scoring for Stoke nearly 9 months ago.
So how's that for a stat, Danny? You look quite surprised. We haven't conceded a goal in the league at home in the second half for 9 months.
That's a great, like I said before. I think
long may that continue.
Yeah, of course. And I said the second half, I do always feel like we are stronger.
Yeah.
Stronger teams, obviously that backs it up.
So now, if we're 1 up at half time, you can get the cigar out because we don't concede.
Hopefully,
it's the absolute kiss of death.
I'd rather we're 3 up at half time.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, with regards to the competition, it was to the best question, as picked by Danny, would win 2 tickets to Saturday's game, plus a pair of his boots, and meet the man himself as well at Saturday's game. We've actually got a tie break. Danny's got 2 questions that particularly caught his eye. He couldn't pick between them, so he said he's going to find more boots just like this, another pair of boots. We're going to have to rustle up 2 more tickets as well for Saturday's game because we have a tie. Firstly, congratulations to Callum, whose handle is @_discobox_ for your question, your 3 hardest Toon teammates against your 3 hardest QPR teammates, who wins in a fight. And I think the clue Dunny Monster helped you pick up the tickets there. And the second one, Ian?
Yeah, at Kate QPRX, and the question was, if you could play alongside any back four in the world, who would they be and why? And obviously, Danny went for Ashley Cole, Jaap Stam, Rio Ferdinand, and his good self.
Absolutely. So congratulations to Caitlin Chapman as well. If you email Adam H at qpr.co.uk with your details, and we'll organise 2 tickets for the pair of you, and you'll meet Danny after the game on Saturday as well, and he'll present you with a couple of pairs of boots personally signed as well. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Danny. We really appreciate it.
Cheers.
And just finally looking ahead to Saturday in confident mood after back-to-back wins.
Yeah, training's been lively as well this week. So yeah, no, it's it's a great opportunity for us to really make a statement. We've got 3 home games now, and starting on Saturday to go out there and put on a good performance and hopefully get some goals and a clean sheet.
Great stuff. You've been watching London Calling. We'll be back same time, same place next Thursday from 7 o'clock.